Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, gentlemen and ladies who may be joining us as well, although not on this particular program at the moment. Gentlemen, how are you? I'm going to start with Phoebe in Dubai. Hi there, Phoebe. How are you? It's Phoebe.
I'm very good. Hi, everyone. I'm very good. Good to be in company of Graham and Mohammed.
And it's Phoebe Francis. I didn't get a chance to say that. We've got to be clear on the surname there, make sure people know. Phoebe Francis, two Fs. And Mohammed Shukri. Mohammed Al Shukri, good to have you.
Hi there, Phoebe Graham, and everyone who's watching. I'm so happy to be with you. Hi from Manama, Bahrain.
Wonderful. Well, my name's Graham Moore, Certified Master of the Leadership Challenge. As I keep saying, the Leadership Challenge is the most widely recognized leadership development program in the world. It's been around a long time, and the research that's been done continues to validate all of the work that all of the elements that we talk about, particularly the 5 practices of exemplary leadership. Now, I'm using a word that we often use, and this is the word leadership. So let's consider that. Phoebe mentioned about people, are they good leaders or bad leaders, right? He said, is this a term, isn't it, Phoebe? What about good drivers and bad drivers of motor vehicles? Or I hope not good pilots and bad pilots. I hope all pilots are good. But there are other functions that you might say a good one or a bad one. Tell us what you feel about good or bad leaders, Bibi.
Yeah, Graham and Mohammed, I see leadership as a set of behaviors which people display in their line of activity, whether it is at work or whether it is at home. And quite often, sometimes myself included, refer the phrase like we have a bad leadership practice. Now, I want to challenge and be provocative there in highlighting leadership can't be either good or bad. It
Oh,
is leadership.
yes, there we go. Solidly, we're going to say leadership is good. I've been saying for a while now, when people ask me, I say, well, there is no bad leadership, and just as there is no bad chocolate. Well, I guess some people say that some of the chocolate's pretty awful, but do we call it chocolate? And if the leadership is not good, do we still call it leadership, or what could we call it? Leadership is something that I believe, in all the work we've done about it, is something that we aspire to. I aspire to be a leader of people, a leader who is going to inspire others to follow me as we go and climb the mountain or achieve amazing results, whatever. It is an aspiration. Therefore, I look up to it. Leadership is an aspiration. So for me, no bad leadership. What's your response, Mohammed?
Well, as much as it means it has to do with what do we mean by leadership, it also makes us stop and ask, what do we mean by good, by bad? For example, in one of the programs I was delivering, uh, a person talked to me privately about a leader a leader who left. Oh yeah, we are so glad he left. We couldn't breathe while he was there, etc., etc. But you know what? He built the organization like no one else. He, 10x the profits and our expansion went up. He was really good. Okay, okay, stop there. What is good and what is bad? So it's also important to talk about in our leadership challenge. Luckily, our the writers of the book, the authors of the book and the program, they have done almost 40 years of research and 40 million, more than 30 million people across the globe from all walks of life agreed what is good leadership, which resulted in the 5 exemplary leadership practices.
And let me make a point now, which I hope is clear. Well, let me say, you talk about of the world, all these people around the world, right, that were included in the research. So it doesn't mean that, to be a good leader in the United States context, as opposed to the Nigerian context or the Chinese context or the Arab, whichever Arab culture we're talking about. No, it applies, all of these apply right across, right across. In fact, I happen to just pull those names out of my head. I'm still able to do that when I mention Nigeria. And we have had a certified master in Nigeria. Sadly, he's passed on.
Wow.
We have had certified masters in China. They were just two countries that I pulled out of my head. So the point that I'm making here is the same principles that we talk about in terms of the 5 practices of exemplary leadership, the fundamentals of leadership. These apply throughout the world. Throughout the world. And I've said this before, when I talk about I may have said this several times, when I'm presenting to a Muslim audience, and I have outlined the 5 practices of exemplary leadership, I say, so which leader in your faith do you believe followed the 5 practices? And it takes about a second and a half before someone will say, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Yes, this has been around a long time. This leadership, which was exemplified by your Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and it applies, therefore, around the world. Now, I'm going to pause in a moment, but I have had people say to me over time, but what about Hitler? And I say, well, he did inspire people to follow him, and they did. But he was on the wrong train. You know, he was leading people down a way that was absolutely abhorrent, and we know that. And he was self-serving. Did he have integrity? No. Was he honest? No. These are the characteristics that people want in their leader. He didn't have all of this. Now, we know the tragedy that unfolded. It is the tragedy of, for some of us, our lifetime. And we are not going to exemplify someone like Hitler. So is he a good leader? No. No. And therefore, I say, there are others who we might think, well, they are achieving certain things. You've then got to say, do you want to be like that person? Well, no. You see, I think most of us who have had the experience of working with, being part of an organization where there is a leader who inspires us, who we love working with, who we want to achieve great things with them, we want to be like them. We learn their behavior and we want to be like. And I can certainly say that from my early working experience, when particularly, as I've said before in this program, that my earliest experience of having a senior leadership position, I was 29, and I had 5 direct reports and between 60 and 80 people working with us in this group overall. And I was inspired by the man who was the head of the company, the chairman and CEO. He was a wonderful leader. And I learned so much from him. I aspired to be like him. So I'm a big one for leadership is a positive term. There are no graduations in, he's a 3.5 leader. Oh, he's a 10 out of 10 leader. No, I want all leaders to be good. These behaviors are not hard, but your attitude has got to be focused on being the best you can be as a leader. Time for me to stop. Gentlemen, let me hear from you.
I think I just want our audience who are viewing us or listening to us, just please close your eyes for a moment. Reflect on
the audience, not us. The audience, not us.
Yeah, so I want, yeah, you can also close the eyes if you wish. Okay, for a moment. Think about the people who have touched us in a positive way, which and see some of them, their actions. And I want to borrow the 5 practices of exemplary leadership here. And you can see they will be modeling the way. They will be modeling the way in their actions. And you can see your mind saying that I want to follow him. And another aspect of exemplary leadership practice is inspiring a shared vision. They might have uplifted you along with others and inspired you to take action, to move in a direction which you have an interest in. So the second practice of leadership challenge comes here, that is inspiring a shared vision with the team. And third one, challenging the process. He might have asked questions. He or she might have asked you questions. What can you do differently? What if you do like that? So again, challenging the processes, and that might have influenced you in that process. So you know when you, and who is that? And you might have experienced that person challenging the process and also developing more people to come up, uplifting more people. And we can see in historically many of the national leaders who have done that, uplifting the population from difficult circumstances to better living standards all across the globe. And these are the people who we call leaders because of their, exemplary leadership behaviors. And again, and they are always, for example, encouraging the heart, even at difficult circumstances, helping to be resilient. So please open your eyes. I have been asking you to close the eyes for quite a long time. So
I've been
what I'm trying to convey is, you yourself feel positive when you think about such and such people.
Mohammed. Open
Yeah.
your
I will open my mouth. It was closed. You know what comes to my mind immediately is John Quincy Adams quote, where he said, "If your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and be more, you are a leader." That's a very solid definition. He didn't say a good leader or bad leader. If you inspire them, not force them, not threaten them to do so, they do it willingly because your actions inspire them, not your words. He said, if your actions inspire them to do more, learn more, be more, then you are a leader. I still see that quote a solid definition of who is and who isn't a leader.
Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, the ruler of Dubai, the Prime Minister and Vice President, said, if you help someone be a better person and help them along the way, you are a leader.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. If you kick someone and yell at someone and beat them up or whatever, you're not a leader. You're not. But if you help someone, if you show them the way, you are a leader. And that then extends to what you've just said, Phoebe. And in fact, those 5 practices are not hard to follow. Not hard. And when you follow these 5 practices, when you do these, you become an exemplary leader, and other people you are leading want to be with you. This is the core of engagement. People who are engaged want to be there. And they don't want to be there if someone who is their so-called leader is berating them all the time, who is negative, who is critical, who is raising their voice. This is bossmanship. It is not leadership. And if people are in that environment, they want to be there. They want to perform at their best because of their leader. So we don't say, oh, he does all these nasty things, so I think I'll rate him as a leader a 3.5. I'm sorry. I'm going to say what I said at the start. He's not a leader. There is no bad leadership. There just is no leadership. It's not bad. It means it's just not there. But the leader is going to be one who, as Phoebe said, follows those 5 practices, who also, in terms of the fundamentals, who builds relationships with people, who learns every day. That's what leaders do. Mohammed.
Let me, guys, just put a small air bump, road bump, all right? What if the leader is also led by people up there in the boardroom, in the executives, all right, who demand him and pressure him to become a manager? Like they don't believe in leadership, or may let us say, I mean, his direct manager will say, "We don't have time for this. You have to control people. You have to control the production. There's no time for this. I want you to report to me who's late, who's not." And they are old style or old school, or they are not in the realm of leadership. And yet this leader wants to act as a leader. And he says, these people up there want me to act like a manager. They want me to show papers and worksheets that prove who's right, who's wrong, and who's late, these things. All right. And maybe immediate answer for me that I can give this person who wants to be a leader, where I will tell him, well, that's a good reason you should be a leader, because if you don't, it will make things even worse.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, you can achieve better results actually by being a leader. Otherwise, it's going to get worse and it's going to be hell on both ends.
People will leave, and there is a cost to people leaving. We know this, the high cost of poor managing. Let me just make one other point. And I'm thinking about this scenario that you created of the board member or the man above saying to this person, this is what you've got to do. These are the figures that you must achieve. This is it. Don't listen to just get this result. I would be saying, if I was that person to whom this is being said, I would say, thank you for that. I understand that you appointed me when you made the appointment, that you said you wanted these results. Yes, we need those results. I know that I will get those results for you. Will you be happy when I've got those results? Of course, I'll be happy. Okay, I'm going to guarantee you will get those results. Thank you very much. He doesn't need to
Yeah,
explain why. He just says, I'll get those results.
yeah.
The manager
Beautiful, beautiful.
might say,
Well said.
make sure you do. Yeah, right. The way to do it is to lead.
I think I'm reminding a story here. Like imagine that a new employee is coming to a workplace and he's seeing a place where people are mutually helping each other, and there is people in the senior roles modeling the way.
Yeah.
People in the senior roles inspiring a shared vision. People in the senior role challenging the process in a way that is enabling others to act and also encouraging the heart. How this new person entering the workforce will be feeling at that moment. He will be happy about in that workplace. He will be seeing, okay, this is a culture where the people are being nurtured and developed, and we can see a culture which is of following the 5 exemplary leadership practices being developed and practiced. Now imagine the same another scenario where a new employee is joining. He see there is no modeling the way. He see there is no inspiring a shared vision. He see there is no one challenging the process in a way which is enabling others to act. And there is no encouragement of the heart. And hearing this tone, as an employee, which culture that person want to be in? That is point number one. And second is, if the new employee is only seeing this second culture, what happens is he's also fitting into that new culture. And that is where the challenge in many organizations, because people have difficulty in experiencing the first culture, and that is preventing them or not bringing into their awareness how culture can be built.
I'm going to make a reference to what Muhammad just said in the example that he gave. And that is the manager, the CEO, whatever, says, this is what we need from you. Get rid of these people and do this. And he's playing really hard. I want to play with that a little bit. And I'm going to suggest this particular scenario. If I was the leader who's being told that, right, I would go to my team. Let's just pick a figure of 8 or so team members. And I'd say, guys, I want to have a talk to you. I'm here to do the best I can and achieve some great results. I know that together we can inspire other people around the organization to perform at their best because of what we are doing. Is that something you agree with? Yeah. Okay, good. So I've had a conversation recently with a gentleman in this company. I will not name his name, but he has told me that I need to dismiss people who are not performing. I need to yell at people. I need to introduce punitive measures if behavior is not followed. I need to shake the place up. And if that physically means shaking people, then I'm to do that as well to get the results. These are the outcomes that they want me to achieve with you as my team. X percentage increase. These is what we want. And this gentleman is saying, I should do these things that I just told you. I'm going to give you a choice. Think about this. I want us to be the team in this organization that everybody else looks up to. And they look up to us because we have a sense of engagement. We have a sense of performing well. We care about what we're doing. We help and support each other. We have the same values. We certainly understand the vision of what we're trying to achieve. You know that I will challenge you to be the best you can be. You know that I'll recognize the good things that you are doing. Now, if that is going to apply, do you believe that we can achieve the results that have been posted in my mind by this other senior person as to what they demand? Or would you like me to do what he has said I should do to each and every one of you? Which would you prefer?
Wow, I'm sitting there and I'm saying, you don't even have to ask.
No. And I don't threaten. Did I threaten? No. I gave them the choice. So this
As much as this is hypothetical, all right, it really opens all kind of worms and also all good possibilities that actually the only way to lead is to lead, actually.
yes. And of course to be the best leader you can be. And if that person, the hypothetical that I just painted, I would be saying to them, along the way, if there's anything that you think that I should change in my behavior, I want you to tell me. I want you to tell me if there's anything that I'm doing is impacting negatively on what you are trying to achieve and what I've asked of you. Is that okay? Yeah. And I know that I will recognize every success along the way and we will celebrate that for either of us. You know, this is what leaders do. You mentioned modeling the way, Phoebe. Well, modeling the way can also be done badly, can't it? I'm modeling the way, that is, my behaviors are being observed by others, but they're terrible behaviors. We don't want to model that sort of behavior where the leader, the bossmanship, the boss is yelling and screaming and being punitive and being threatening and all of this. That is modeling the way, which is wrong. We want the way to be modeled where values are lived, values are shared, we understand and we recognize the power of what we're doing. That sort of modeling is powerful. Do what you say you will do, all of these things. To live the values, to understand and live the characteristics of admired leaders. This is what it's all about. And I've got to stop saying it. Leadership's not hard. You can improve all the time. That's what good leaders do.
Mhm.
That's what leaders should be doing, looking for a better way of doing it all the time. So let's make it really clear. Let's write it in the sand. No, we've got to write it in concrete that there is no bad leadership. It doesn't exist. It can't exist. That's bossmanship.
Like there's no bad chocolate.
There's no bad chocolate. Yeah, that's my theory. But you both know that there's no bad leadership. You both know that because of what we